Project, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for 10 young entrepreneurs to put together their own event at one of London's most prestigious venues, the Royal Opera House. The catch? They've just got 6 weeks to do it all. Having just met and been given their roles, the 10 are thrown in at the deep end, with project manager Carleen tasked with keeping them on track.
As project manager, it's really difficult in communicating with everyone, considering that they live all across the country. It's really difficult communicating through email, and I've literally been bombarded with loads and loads of different emails. This is the brief that we were given, so whenever I'm getting stuck, I always go back to this. If they're going in the wrong direction, for instance with Darnell, if he, for example, had an act which I didn't think was suitable for the event, I'd make him look at the bigger picture, the fact that it's a festival for all different types of young people, and you have to think outside the box. It's not about what I want, it's about what's best for the event overall.
At Virgin Media HQ, lead designer Sarah meets with the Virgin Media design team for some advice on how to get things started.
We've just been talking over concepts. Having one unified creative design for the event is really important, and this week that's going to need to be nailed. There's a lot to do at this stage. A little bit nervous now. Need to really kind of like up the gear a bit and start getting plans made into action.
The next day, film and content lead John meets up with artist liaison Darnell to find out how they're getting on.
We now have 2 confirmed acts. First one is Blizzard, grime MC from Manchester. The second one is a guy called Rick Starr. He's like an R&B / kind of jazz kind of artist. I looked at a few of his things and he's good. To find an artist, obviously I have to find out either contact details about them. I've actually got a template saved which basically explains everything that we're doing, and then yeah, I send that to them or their management, and then just have to wait for a reply really.
It reassured me a little bit because it's been starting to feel like we haven't done anything at all.
John also takes the chance to discuss his idea for an online promo.
One thing that we could do is, we were talking about going to Covent Garden and trying to get some of the street artists involved. We could have some sort of small show on the streets there in Covent Garden with some of these street artists, because what they generally do is performance art. If we marry that with one of our artists, I think people might find that interesting, walking past, they come over and see what we're all about.
I mean, I've always been down for doing something like that. Like when we had to first apply for this, that was like one of my ideas. I think the promo is definitely a good idea. Something to generate hype. It's definitely something to generate awareness of what we're doing. I think it's like you said, you have to get the right person, probably music-wise, to do it.
I'm hoping that as next week progresses, we will have some slightly more high-profile acts booked, because it really will give me something to work with in terms of content and promotional ideas.
At the end of the week, the group call a meeting in Cardiff. It seems the most basic yet important aspect still hasn't been resolved.
One thing that I think needs to be done is that our concept needs to be really refined, it needs to be strong, and then it really needs to capture what we're about and what we're trying to do. And it's made me consider in going back to the drawing board in terms of our name, because I don't think Project Live, it really doesn't say much, it's too ambiguous, it doesn't really spark any sort of interest or stuff.
The suggestion does cause some friction in the group.
We've gone for Project Live, which we all agreed on last week, and therefore I set up a website and email addresses for everyone. That took me about 2 days to do, and now apparently we're changing the name. So it wouldn't be too much of an issue, but we have communicated that around to quite a lot of people now, and obviously we have the website and all the email addresses.
Sarah's already spent a week working on her design concept with that idea. We've already got email addresses with that idea.
Project Live is ambiguous. I think it's quite cool like that. Yeah. So if you had like Creative Fest, and I know like that's a massively lame example, and because of that, no, I wouldn't come to a festival called Creative Fest.
Some felt a bit like strong to keep Project Live, but I don't think we come to a conclusion, but I think we came to a compromise. I think in terms of marketing it, and Kate's job, it will spark a lot more, and Josh's job, it will spark a lot more interest if it has a name that really captures what we're about, because the Project Live is quite formal in a sense.
Sarah decides now might be the right time to show some of the designs she's been working on.
I've got 5 different kind of ideas to give an overall kind of feel. So first one was Twisted Britain. If we had like a bar area, then there'd be sofas that look like they're really soft, but actually they're made out of cement. The second one I looked at was Many Roots. It's got like a really nice visual language that we can do vinyls for the floor. Third is Night School. I was looking at old Victorian machines with all the different cogs and levers. And there could be somebody that actually sits inside that's a translator. Playtime, Play Hard, Game On, and it's like a casino theme.
Out of the 5, one idea seems to stand out the most.
Made by Many. I was discussing that earlier in the week and kind of developed that one a bit more. Logo-wise, it can be made up of like numerous objects. It's got a nice kind of photographic angle on it. We could have like piles of Lego or a giant piece of Play-Doh, and then everyone can, like, you can take a bit or you can like mould it and shape it. So it creates these installations that are created by the guests. So, and they've got a nice kind of like time value to them.
Though Sarah can push it a little too far.
It'd be quite nice to actually have a toilet installation.
I'm not sure the Royal Opera House are going to let us do that.
So they've got a concept but still don't have a name or a headliner. With just 5 weeks left, will they even be able to work out the basics? Find out next time on The Project.